like a hurricane. In Duckburg, race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Every day that I've been making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad, and not DuckTales. The danger lurks behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just scramble to some DuckTales. Every day that I've been making DuckTales. Tales of daring, do bad, and good DuckTales. Not ponytails or counting tails, no DuckTales.
Now, I rarely make videos about corny fighters, you know what I'm saying? Or fellas who stay inactive, who out of sight, out of mind, who are barely in the ring, you know what I mean? But this guy named Keith One Time Thurman, he just opened up a can of worms, you know what I mean? So this guy was on Akam Barak show. Those guys who be on Sirius FM. Sometimes they be on that DAZN, what you call it? At least I see him on the DAZN YouTube page when they do that. When they run up on fans who be talking shit about fighters, you know what I mean? I like that little segment they got, you know what I'm saying? But Keith Thurman was on the phone with Akam Barak on their Sirius XM show, and they was asking him about a fight with Terrance Crawford. And everything that came out of this man one time's mouth was just repugnant, man. It was just, that's not how fighters are supposed to speak. But I mean, what do you expect, you know what I mean? Look, the guy was asked about fighting Terrance Crawford, and the guy just instantaneously, just you could tell his blood pressure went up, you know what I mean? Man's voice got all high pitched and shit, you know. They asked him about fighting Terrance Crawford and um, about fighting or doing a cross promotion with other fighters from different networks, and he was talking about he's just one guy. He's just one guy. Like, you know, like, yeah, that one guy is pound for pound number one, in my book at least, number one pound for pound on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Although, in my opinion, I do agree that Terrence Crawford's stock has dropped. Not as much as this guy you see on your screen right here, Keith Thurman, you know? But he was talking about it's just one guy. It's just one guy. And then he's, well, you know, this guy was insinuating like nobody cares about the WBO belt. That's not what he's trying to achieve. Well, this guy didn't have that same type of energy when Jeff Horn from Australia held that WBO belt that he got off with Manny Pacquiao. He wanted that fight just like the man Danny Garcia, another guy who is a guy who's avoiding Bud Crawford by any means necessary. You know what I mean? You check it. So this guy's acting like Bud Crawford is just one guy and the WBO belt doesn't matter. And this guy had the nerve to mention guys like, oh, like what's the point of fighting Bud Crawford when over here on PBC, if I freaking feel like it, I could fight Mikey Garcia, there's Errol Spence, there's Sean Porter, there's Danny Garcia, there's Ugas, there's Adrian Broner. First and foremost, you was ducking the man Errol Spence for the longest. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what Keith Thurman was doing. By any means necessary, he avoided Errol Spence. Wasn't going to give that man any type of opportunity, even when the man Errol Spence was the IBF champion. Now look, the man is holding your belt, a belt that you got from Danny Garcia, that WBC belt. That WBC belt was going to go through revolving doors because just in the manner of how Danny Garcia got it by beating Robert the Ghost Guerrero, who's a good fighter, you know. I didn't personally think that that particular fight should have been for the vacant WBC belt. But hey, man, when them titles go through like that, when fighters who are not, you know, in my opinion, shouldn't even be fighting for them titles, man. Them titles gonna go around like a merry-go-round. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what he did. Now, Keith Thurman, you lost your WBC belt after you vacated it. You talking about fighting Sean Porter? There's guys to fight like Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. You already fought those guys. Errol Spence. I don't even know why this guy Keith Thurman mentioned his name. When you ducked him, you did exactly what you did to Errol Spence. What all the other welterweights are doing to Terrance Crawford. You know what I mean? Avoiding that guy, talking about if you get a belt, maybe we can fight. Well, the man did get a world title. It's been probably like 2 years now, and still nobody's trying to fight the guy. You know, this guy Keith Thurman, man. Look, man, I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all. I was never a believer, man. I was never a believer. Every fight I seen him on this come up, he was getting hurt. You know what I mean? Soto Carras, Diego Chavez, all these guys. Only guy who didn't hurt him was Jan Zavik. You know what I mean? Leonard Bundle. You know what I'm saying? Louis Colazo with that body shot. Everybody who got in the ring with them after Jan Zavik hurt this guy. Visibly shook him up. You know what I mean? You check it. So, Keith Thurman, nah, dogs. You talking about fighting Errol Spence and Ugas? You had the nerve to bring up Ugas and Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner's a has been. Terrance Crawford is undefeated, number one pound for pound. You know what I mean? Ugas is a good fighter on the come up. He has 4 losses. Look, you gain no incentive for beating a guy like Ugas, and I'd probably pick Ugas to beat Keith Thurman right now. High risk, low reward. You ain't gonna do that, so stop. You ain't gonna fight the man Ugas. You know what I mean? So why you bashing the man Terrance Crawford, acting like he's not a welterweight champion? You know what I'm saying? When you was a guy talking about he has to get a belt first before anything happens. He been had a belt, and you have none. This guy right here, Keith Thurman, I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all, man. He can't beat Errol Spence. He can't even beat Ugas. He could probably have a great majority decision, split decision victory. Could go either way versus Adrian Broner. He ain't beating none of those guys. He's not even beating a Danny Garcia right now. So who can he beat? Man, this guy's popularity, his stock's plummeting like the 1930s, the Great Depression, you know what I mean? This guy has no legs to stand on no longer in the game. And look, man, like I said, I don't make a lot of videos about corny fighters who not doing what they supposed to do, but when they talk some nut ass shit like this, I gotta flame him up. I gotta put him in the duck sauce category. You know what I mean? You gotta make this man realize he's a waste man. He's wasting people's time in boxing. If he don't even fight nobody else in boxing, I'm not mad one bit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give props to Manny Pacquiao for beating this guy Keith Thurman. Look at his face. Yeah, you know, gotta give Manny Pacquiao. And everybody listening to this video, hit that thumbs up and give Manny Pacquiao, applaud Manny Pacquiao for freeing up the welterweight division, at least relieving this guy of any title so he can't hold them hostage, you know what I mean? And Manny Pacquiao did that. Now this guy is no longer credible. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about there's guys like Ugas and Adrian Broner to fight in the whole time ducking Terrance Crawford. They said man, Terrance Crawford is considered by many number one pound for pound. And before the guys Akim Barak could even finish their sentence, the man's cutting them off. Keith Thurman's cutting them off, saying, "Oh, it's subjective. It's pound for pound is mythical." He's just basically trying to bash it. You wish you was in the pound for pound list. If you was in the pound for pound list, somebody brought it up, you wouldn't be saying that shit is mythical and it's subjective and all that type of garbage. You know what I mean? So Keith Thurman, man, you know, he's a guy, like I said, a lot of people on these YouTube streets, man, they had faith in this guy. Not a few years ago, no. They had faith in this guy just as late as last year, you know what I'm saying? When he fought the man Keith Thurman. I'm sorry, Danny Garcia, you know what I mean? So you check it. So this guy right here, he has no legs to stand on. Not Danny Garcia when he fought Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people picked him to beat Manny Pacquiao. I was like, what are y'all smoking, man? What the hell are y'all smoking? This guy can't beat Manny Pacquiao on any day. It was a close fight. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all like Manny Pacquiao washed him like a wide decision. It was a close fight. I had it like 7-5, maybe 6-6 for Manny Pacquiao, but the difference was the knockdown in round one. So it was a tough fight. I haven't seen Manny Pacquiao get his hit as much as he did, like he did in the second half of the Keith Thurman fight. Great fight, nevertheless. You know what I mean? But if anybody thought this guy had any shot of beating Manny Pacquiao, you got to you gotta clean up your bifocals, clean up your lenses. You're watching boxing from a different perspective. This guy couldn't even barely beat Josecito Lopez. How the hell he gonna beat Manny Pacquiao? You know what I mean? So Keith Thurman, don't nobody should get upset. I'm not upset at him one bit. Out of sight, out of mind. This guy can't even beat Ugas right now. So he's talking about um, Terrance Crawford, other side of the street. Oh, nobody's gonna cross over the street just for one guy. Yeah, excuses, excuses, man. Cause you can't f with the man from Nebraska, Terrance Crawford. You know what I mean? And that's just what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So everything you hear from him are deflection tactics to avoid the man Terrance Crawford, which is all well and fine. Put him in there with Errol Spence, then see what happens. Putting him in there with Ugas. He gonna get that ass taxed and ass whooped from pillar to post like Josecito Lopez did. B Marsh Boxer, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about this fraudulent dude named One Time. I'm gone. Peace.